Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where this time we're going to be taking a look back at Star Wars Dark Forces, one of the greatest Star Wars games that they've made by far, and a game that really brought a lot to the Star Wars lore as far as characters, storylines. This game really had it all for it being created so long ago. I think it still holds up. That's why they're making remastered editions and people are still playing this game to this day. This game introduces us to Kyle Katarn, who is one of the coolest, most beloved characters from the expanded universe. I think in the Star Wars fandom, there's a lot about Katarn. Try saying that 5 times fast. Kyle Katarn that is that makes him a really layered and welcome addition to the Star Wars cast of characters. I have a video coming out on him soon, and I'll cover more of that then. But this game also introduces the concept of dark troopers. It kind of focuses around you play as Kyle, and you're trying to shut down the Empire's Dark Trooper project. You interact with characters from the Rebel Alliance, and Kyle himself is an ex Imperial who learns the truth about his parents' death, that it wasn't the Rebel Alliance that caused their death, but it was the Empire, and that causes him to defect. He is force sensitive, which is something we get into a little bit later on in the game series. And that's the coolest part about Dark Forces is it really sparked an entire series of games as we get into the Jedi Knight series and continuing his adventures. But yeah, the game is a first-person shooter. Your enemies are mainly Imperial based, stormtroopers, probe droids, things of that nature. It was really cool. I played it on PC, and you kind of you get to see these really cool level designs and these different maps and a lot of iconic imagery from the original trilogy. It's definitely heavily influenced by those films, which I think is what makes it great because it really feels like Star Wars. I mean, a first person shooter works in the Star Wars universe regardless, but I feel like these games did it really well. Uh, Obviously, it's not, the most up to date graphics and frame rates and things like that if you play the original version. But I mean, this was a game that came out 20 plus years ago. So, I mean, you know, expectations are different, right? But as far as plot, story, and like I said, the game itself, it's a lot of fun. Um, Dark Forces was an expansion of the current Star Wars timeline that we had. This was a time period where, the prequels were just kind of getting, getting going and hype was building around that. And you had the original movies, and this felt like an extension of that. This plot, this storyline could almost have just fit right in perfectly with the original trilogy, which is something I personally really liked about the game. And like I said, it's the different types of missions and things. There's enough variety here to make it a fun, replayable experience. It doesn't feel like every level is exactly the same. You have um, different layouts, different concepts for how you're supposed to accomplish your missions. Some things are more stealth based, some things are more, you kind of have to shoot your way through a group of enemies. There's a little bit of a puzzle element where you're trying to figure out ways to get to certain parts of the level. I remember getting stuck a few times. Um, but overall, really good game. If you haven't played it, it is available. They have a remaster out. I do recommend checking that out. I thought they did a good job with that. It's when it originally came out, the console version specifically for the PlayStation was not great. It had a lot of technical issues. I never played that. I played it on PC. The PC one was fine. So, but yeah, man, just, Dark Forces really launched a great series of Star Wars games and brought us things like Kyle Katarn and, the Dark Troopers and things that would, become an iconic part of the Star Wars expanded universe. And I think without those games, some of those characters and ideas may have never saw the light of day. So always going to be appreciative of that. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Check out the game if you haven't. We might play it on the channel sometime soon. And leave a comment below with your favorite memory from the game. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the channel, helps us out a lot. And as always, may the force be with you. Now let's blow up that like button and go home.